guys, welcome in. We're going to do some mini reviews in this video. I just feel like I have a handful of things that I'd like to sort of share with you and chat about. I do have some makeup things, and then toward the end I have some random things. I have like a Dollar Tree hair clip, but I've also got some skincare, some body care. We're all over everything in this video, so thank you for being here. If you enjoy little compilations of quick reviews, give the video a thumbs up and give me a comment. Let me know what your favorite part of this video was. But my face is partially done right now, so I'll let you know what's on so far. I've got my Refi Glow and Sculpt Primer. That's the one with that little roller thing. Sometimes I'm just in the mood for it, and so I use that today. I absolutely love this combo. I've talked about it before. I'm pretty sure I've applied these together in a recent video, but the LA Colors Truly Matte Foundation, this is going to be one of your cheapest finds at Walmart. I have the shade Natural. It's just a little light, but I decided to use any kind of bronzing drop, really. These are the Essence Drop of Sunshine. I think they're just in the one color. When I dab the foundation on, I also just spot this on as well and then blend it in everywhere. I'm not blending it in with the mind of contouring or doing that in certain zones. I'm just like boosting the overall foundation tone and blending it all together. The coverage ends up really good, but it has usually just a hint more glow than the foundation would have on its own, and I just love doing that. Consider that if you own some bronzing drops and you also have a too light foundation. I use my Tarte Shape Tape Blur concealer stick. Love the texture of this stick. I have it in, I believe the shade's just light, and I put that on my under eye and around my nose, and it's just so easily blendable. I love a good quality concealer stick. Then I set that with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus, the translucent shade, because I used that, what was it, yesterday? The day before, but I'm kind of rediscovering that. Just a little Rimmel Stay Matte, just very lightly all over the rest of my skin. If you have the intention of just putting on a light bit of powder, this one's great for it because your brush just won't let you pick up that much from the pan. It's kind of firm, but it does exactly what you want it to do. My cap is extremely cracked. And then for bronzer, I use my Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 300. So now we're ready to move into the first thing I want to do a little mini review on, and it's this Catrice Blur Balm Blush Palette. So this is not the first time Catrice has put out a little like cream multi-palette. We've got 5 blushes and also a highlighter. The highlighter kind of looks like, oh, that's going to be a classic pearly highlight. What I'm getting from this is maybe a smidge of pearl, but it's actually kind of a wet look, makes the skin look juicy. I would have liked to see maybe a little more pigment in this, but it does work. This sells for $8 on the Catrice website. They're really good about keeping the cost of things like $10 or less. Now the other palette I have from them is called the Magic Shaper palette. This one, as you can imagine, it's a little more versatile. You're getting contour shades, blush shades, and highlight shades in one little palette, all cream textures if that's what you're into. This is more of the blush lovers palette, and I do feel like the texture of these seems even thinner, maybe just a little more ease of blending, more creaminess compared to these. And I never really felt like these were difficult, but just putting my finger into them, I'm like, oh, okay, that feels just slightly thicker. But just to bring it in and show you the tones, we have a mauve here. I feel like this whole side is kind of like takes on pink, more of a very intense pink, a classic pink, and then this lighter one here is kind of like a soft rose. Then over on this side, we have a coral, really peachy coral that actually has a little bit of shimmer in it, but nothing loud. What this palette largely gives, I mean, outside of the highlighter, is just like a pure color type of vibe. So I'll apply a couple of these so you can see them going on. A Sephora 56, a Real Techniques setting brush. Those are good applicators for a product like this. I'm going to go into this one that would appear to be the softest so you can see where that takes us. Okay, I only got a tiny bit on the brush at first, but it blends so easily. Just a really good creamy texture, kind of along the lines of Milani Cheek Kiss, maybe even thinner than that, but yet very pigment packed. For that soft shade, I feel like that was a really good just base application. Let's go over to the other cheek. I just kind of stamp it on. And as with any cream product that you're putting on over foundation and stuff you've already applied, you don't want to get really swirling, grinding down into your look, you know? Stay with the tapping motion so you're not moving product around. So that's on there. And then if you wanted more intensity, really you could look to any of these 3 colors. Let's take some of the mauve. Okay, I feel like I got quite a bit on my brush, so I'm gonna also tap over here. I had more than enough for both cheeks. Oh, I see, my brush kind of picked up a little bit on the end of the pan. Let's swipe off that excess. But even if you get quite a bit, it's such a thin consistency. You're not gonna struggle to get this blended into your skin. Now you might have a strong cheek at the end, but it'll be blended at least. There it is, all tapped in. I really like this mauve shade because I feel like I've worn it alongside pretty much every other shade in the palette, and it just kind of merges in and gives a little bit richer color. So I would say if you're looking for a wardrobe of extremely easy to work with cream blushes, this is something you could really enjoy. And even given the amount of product I just blended in on my skin, I do not feel wet or tacky. Now, let's talk about the highlighter. I'm going to pick some of that up on my finger. Again, it has a glossiness mixed with maybe a sheer amount of shimmer. This is not fully blended. I just dabbed it on, and then I'm going to use a brush just to tap over that. The highlighter is just as easy to blend as the blushes are, but there's even more moisture in it because I think it's more about giving a dewy finish to your skin. See that? See how the shimmer is sort of diluted in a dewy gleam? I'm feeling a little tacky after that, but not a situation where I feel like, oh, I gotta race in and set this. You know, I was pretty controlled with the application and I can enjoy it in that way. So I would say we've got another gem on our hands here from Catrice. Again, I do think the Magic Shaper palette is a bit more well-rounded, but the textures of these blushes are so easily blendable. This is for the person who just wants a bit more variety with their blushes, because here you're getting two, here you're getting 5 blushes, 1 highlight. Alrighty friends, I just did my brows and my eyeshadow. For brows, I'm using this Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Shade is 4 in that, by the way. And suddenly I want to sneeze. And then this e.l.f. brow laminating gel. I used Milani eyeshadow primer, and then I just decided to reach for a palette I hadn't used in a bit. This one's from Makeup by Mario, the Master Matte's The Neutrals palette. So it's his cooler all matte palette. And I remember saying way back when, like, I'm not that impressed with this palette. I'm not loving it, but I thought, let's just give it another chance. And I didn't even get into the darkest of the dark shades in this palette, but I just did something really, really soft and basic. We're talking a couple of these shades starting out in the crease. I think the deepest color I worked in might have been a little bit of this one in the outer corner. Use these shades just to help me blend out the edge, and a little bit of this shade going inward on the lid for some brightness. It couldn't be more basic, but I just wanted to give that one another chance. I thought, yeah, it did go well today. Then the next thing I want to talk about, I know I mentioned this briefly in my Profusion Halloween makeup video, but this little liner, I've continued to use this so much. It's called Seamless Strokes. Again, it's by Profusion. That's an affordable makeup brand at Walmart. They do tons of palettes, but it's called a Precision Gel Eyeliner, and the shade I have it in is Dark Roast. And this is so good. It's super skinny. It's a really fine tip pencil. I want to compare it to my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Nano and see if it's, okay, it's not quite that skinny, but it seems like a little skinnier than, for example, the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, which is a pretty standard skinny brow pencil. But you're probably thinking, as eyeliner, this is like opposite end of the spectrum from the lazy liners and, you know, those thick eyeliners you like to use. And I would say, like, yeah, you're right, but it goes down so easily. And it's like if I'm wanting a darker line at my lash line, but not really feeling like, okay, let's bust into the black liquid liner, this like gets right in there. And you know how sometimes there's that little gap between where you place your liner and your lashes? This little fine pencil just absolutely attacks that gap. It will not leave you a gap at all. It's so able to get in there. And you see how well that just transferred down? And then I can just wipe over it and it's like, nope, I'm here to stay. It's not really a smudgy thing for me. It's like, let's lay down a fine line and it's gonna stay fine and right in where you want it. But I'm going over some pigmented matte eyeshadow, and this is having no problem just laying right down. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, like if I needed to put on a false lash, this would definitely be dark enough and, you know, close into the lash line enough to be a base for something like that. Some people just don't like to use liquid liner. And oftentimes I just get frustrated by pencils that don't really lay down how I want them to, or they really just can't reach the actual lash line, and this totally does. It gets right where you want it to be. I don't know how many other shades they have in this, but this would have to be like their dark brown near black, and I really love it. I instinctively like go in like I'm gonna try to smudge it a little bit, but it really sets up fast. You're looking for Seamless Strokes Precision Gel Eyeliner if that sounds like something you need in your life, but I've been absolutely loving it. Again, good staying power, ease of application, and just really getting in there to the lash line, getting exactly where you need it to be with no gaps. Love that. So I finished up my eye. I used the Buxom, what's this called? The Lash Extension Lift Mascara on the upper lashes, and I used my e.l.f. lash extender on the lower lashes. That's all I added to this after the liner. And then I wanted to chat about a couple things. I've got these High Shine Mini Lip Gloss Duos. Now I was sent these, and I was also sent some matte duos. I haven't had a chance to test and really get into the mattes, but I've been playing with the glosses, and even in a TikTok video I did a try on with Molten and Aura, so if those sound familiar, you know, I did that, and I'll try them on again for you here today. And then there's another one called Pulse and Phantom, so I thought let's chat about these because I really like this ABH lip gloss formula. I like that it's a little thicker, richer. I feel like it holds on to the lips pretty well as far as a gloss goes, and I just enjoy the choices of what was put in here. And look at the packaging. The packaging is very luxe, even though they're minis. You know, you've got that beautiful ABH cap, and then also the scent. Like vanilla. It hits you just a little bit at the start. You're like, oh, a little sweet scent, and then you really breathe it in and you're like, wow, that's nice. So this is the duo of Molten and Aura. Molten going on first. Everyday kind of sheer brown. And you're seeing these just on bare lips because I want you to know, you know, just how they are. Look at that. Oh, isn't that a nice, like, everyday hint of dusty rose, but just like soft sheer brown? Think of how many things that would pair with for your fall lip colors. I'm just seeing that one as like an everyday fixture type of shade. But again, you get these glosses on your lips. If you're familiar with this line, you know what I'm talking about. Like, there is a thickness. It doesn't feel sticky or uncomfortable, but like there's really something there. At the same time, I don't feel annoyed by it. Sometimes I've talked about with like lifter glosses. If I get too much of a lifter gloss on my lips, I will feel smothered. And I don't know what that is because they're really not sticky. I don't know the amount of something on there. These for sure have more tackiness than a lifter gloss, but I'm not annoyed by them at all. So there's Molten. Then we're gonna put on Aura, which is a real surprise. Like you see it here in the tube and you're thinking, okay, there's gotta be something shifty that I'm about to witness. It's really fun topping off different things, but just as is, it's like, whoa, a lot of pink sheen shows. Once it smooths out between your lips, some of that pink shears out slightly, but that's a cool color. And it's so much fun. Again, take your lip liners that are just everyday kinds of shades, pop something like this on top. It's really fun. There is visible like microfine sparkle that you can see from this shade, just so you know. You will feel zero grit on your lips, but if you look up close, you're like, wow, I'm really seeing some dazzling shine there. Like this would be fun for the holidays, layering up different like full colored lip products that you have. And then we've got this other duo. So this is Pulse and Phantom. And Pulse is kind of being what you see is what you get here, right? It's creamy color. I'm not seeing any shimmer. Super pretty. Again with that kind of vanilla cake scent. I may have gone slightly outside the lines. But I love the fullness of color with that one. I adore that particular shade of pink. It's not so light that it's bubblegum, but yet I wouldn't really classify it as a berry either. Is that not great? I love that. I kind of wish I would have tried on all four of these in my last short thing, but I hadn't really looked over that closely what had even been sent to me. I'm just like, oh, a lip gloss duo. Didn't realize there were two. Now Phantom. What the heck is Phantom? You look up close, it's looking like black with shimmer. We're telling ourselves, okay, it's probably not going to show up as pure black. Is it just going to maybe sheer out and transform into some kind of a berry thing? Not really. This is like an interesting sheer wave of slightly deepening color. Like look at my lips now and then look how the tone of my lips just gets a little darker with this on top. It's not going to look like black. Just give me a second. For some reason this one feels thinner than the others. Would you think I just applied this? Like, it's giving me like a deeper mauve looking lip. Your lips, but a little bit deeper. And then think about the slightly deepening effect this could have on all sorts of other lip liners. You know, it turns out to be very wearable, very sheer. Like I said, there is a shimmer in this gloss, but I don't really see that in my lips, even if I look up close. It's like a subtle darkening effect, and it's very fascinating. I could see me pulling this in a lot. Like, take your lip color and make it a little more fall and winter. Use that. But it's interesting how that definitely has a thinner feel than the other ones. And I'm guessing the pigment in those glosses, like, it did something to make them thicker and a bit more tacky. I'm not saying this feels slippery. It's still thicker than some other glosses I own for sure, but just thinner compared to the other ABH gloss formulas. But I enjoy both of these. I wish they sold them as a little 4-pack, honestly, because I like each and every one of these for a different purpose. So everyday, so fun. This color absolutely rocks, and I find this very enjoyable as well. So just think about what you need or what you'd like to maybe gift to somebody, but I like those little high shine duos from ABH. Now I want to talk a little bit about nails and the whole LA Colors nail polish line, because it was months and months back. I was in our town's combo Dollar Tree Family Dollar. Now it's just a Dollar Tree. You can find this line in Walmart. Pretty sure it's in Dollar General. Just keep your eyes out for it. It's going to be $1 and change, or maybe even just 98 cents. But this was where it started for me. This LA Colors, it's called Color Craze Gel Extreme Shine Gel-like Polish. And I was looking for a good nude shade that would just like make my nails look finished, but not shout from the rooftops if they chipped. And I turned out to really like this. 2 coats of this formula of polish actually wears a decently long time, even without a top coat going on. This shade is called Au Natural, and it was just what I was looking for. It's that nice kind of neat, clean nude nail. Shortly after getting this one, I got the shade Dusty Rose. Now they look so similar there, but Dusty Rose is just a bit more pink. I've got that one on right now, and my nails are growing out a little bit, and I'm just taking care of them a little better, and I'm feeling so good. Now I just took off a really dark color last night, and I still have some darkness around my cuticles. How do we combat that? But this is 2 coats of Dusty Rose. And again, I'm pretty confident that this formula wears well with a couple of coats. Fierce is a great pure red from this line. And then the other one I have is called Princess Vibes. And this is a sheer one. It's a sheer kind of pinky goldeny glimmer. Not my fave as is, but it might be interesting like topping off one of the other ones. But that's my little collection of the LA Colors gel formula. I like it. It's affordable. You can play around with different shades. Again, find it at Walmart. Look to your dollar type of stores. And then I was at Walmart and I was looking for like a deeper red than this. A deep fall red. And the one in the gel line, I could tell they had one, but it was sold out. So they also have this line called Color Craze, just Color Craze without the gel. And whereas I think these might have been $1 and change, this was like 98 cents. And I got the shade Hot Blooded. This was what was most recently on my nails. And I did 2 coats of this. And what I will say is it went on very full color and I enjoyed that, but it doesn't come off as shiny as the gel formula. The big difference is the shine. And I had also decided, well, I want to try a top coat from LA Colors. I know you guys have given me some great top coat suggestions, and I'm gonna dive into those because this really, I don't love this, but I tried it. It's called the LA Colors Plumping Gel-like Top Coat. Put that over this. I did have good longevity with this color throughout a bunch of Christmas decorating, which talk about using your hands like crazy. But putting this on, it took forever to dry, and then even when it should have been, I thought, fully dry, it still had a certain amount of frustrating tackiness to it. Like, I don't have time for this. I won't be using it anymore. I'm gonna dive into those recommendations you all gave me and use a couple of those. So basically, my favorite thing is the LA Colors gel. Generally speaking, 2 coats of one of these gives me long-lasting color with some shine, even without a top coat. Color Craze is good color, but less shine on its own, and the plumping gel-like top coat frustrated me. Took way too long. Next thing, ultra specific review here, but if you see this little clip at Dollar Tree, get it. Belle and I saw this and we both kind of liked it, and I thought, well, either of us can use it, you know, from time to time. I like to take my hair, it's at such a length where I can just twist it up and take a clip about this size. My hair is back and this holds so well. I have very fine hair. I don't have a ton of hair and it sticks straight. And as its primary job in life, it loves to fall out of clips, and it can't fall out of this one. I don't know what it is, but it just stays in there and it's so cute. I love that little bow design. But then Belle has the total opposite hair of me. It's super long. It's really thick. I swear she has enough hair on her head to put a lot of hair on like 3 different people probably. And for her, her hair is so heavy, a lot of clips look like they're sagging down. But when I tell you, I put her hair back in a ponytail and then I did like a little twisty, put this in, and I'm like, if she has to take the clip out by the end of the school day, no big whoop, but this held her hair up in that twist like the whole day. So my my point here is this very cheap 125 hair clip that looks like a bow is awesome and it works for any hair type and length. It's not the first clip I've loved from Dollar Tree. I also have like a pink and red checkered clip that I use all the time. And I've got stuff I've spent more money on that's breaking and just flat out not working well. The Dollar Tree clips, look into that. Recently ran into a new kind of body mist at Walmart. I am all about the Bodycology mists. I have quite a collection going. Biddy and I in particular. Now Belle's my Virgo child who needs to stay on her one certain scent of Sol de Janeiro and doesn't even want to be in the path of any other mist. She wants that. But Biddy and I will float amongst lots of different scents. And this is called Memoir Archives. I think they're trying to be kind of like Replica, but as a body spray. This one's called Staying Cozy 08. It says Toasted Marshmallow Caramel Cedarwood Musk Body Mist. This is great. This is... Let me just live in this scent. Like, it kind of reminds me of the Bodycology s'mores scent. Hits me with a little more sweetness, but then a little more outdoorsiness, perhaps. But a really great fall scent, and these body mists can be so nice, just getting a little bit of them in your hair. Your hair holds onto scent longer than the body, I feel like. If you're thinking, yeah, that's good, Em, but what kind of lotion do I layer this on top of? I would say vanilla. Vanilla pairs really nicely here. If you've got the EOS Vanilla Cashmere lotion, that's beautiful. And that also brings me right into my last thing, I think. No, second to last thing I'm going to talk about in this video. I was sent this by Sol de Janeiro, the Delicia Drench Body Butter. This is not like other body butters I've tried from this line. I've tried maybe 3 over the years. This is really rich. Like, did they go making all the body butters super thick, or is it just this one? Oh my gosh, it's like they mushed cream cheese into here and you're gonna spread that on, but it's very vanilla with a richness to it. It's vanilla and there's something a little bit extra in there, but I feel like it makes such a good base lotion, like after you get out of the shower. As you can imagine, it's super hydrating with that thickness, but it's not impossible to blend into the skin. It doesn't take me a long time. But after you put it on, you're like, yeah, I feel that hydration. Go putting something like this over the top and you will just be tasty, my friend. This means business. It's very good on dry skin and just smells like something you would like to eat a spoonful of, but you know you can't. Last thing, it's not probably a huge review because I think everybody knows what this stuff is, but just maybe an update to you that I'm including this in my skincare now at night. Witch hazel. Yep, I got me some witch hazel. I ran across somebody, and this is the nature of like TikTok and short videos, is that you'll run across someone that you've never seen before, so therefore you can't remember their name. There's not a lot of familiarity, but apparently this person built enough trust with me and described my situation pretty much that they were also experiencing, and they were talking about having like little surface level pimples kind of popping up, and I felt like I was seeing more of that recently than I usually see. And she said she was just working in some of this Dickinson's witch hazel. It says original witch hazel, fragrance-free, pore perfecting toner. Using it at night before going on with the skincare. And she was talking about how that really cleared up like little chin bumps and stuff like that. And I must say, ever since starting to use it, no more of those sneaky little zits cropping up on me. So I don't know. I'm not a dermatologist. I don't know if witch hazel is a great thing or a not so great thing to be using on your skin, but my skin seems to be taking to it pretty well. So I don't know. I'm just sharing that. And that is my video of mini reviews today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's any products you'd like to see me try, if you've got your eye on any holiday gift sets, particularly drugstore price range ones, if there's anything intriguing you've noticed that you'd like to see a review on there, let me know, and I will talk to you guys again soon. I love you. Bye.